back, Dragonist Gamer. So in today's video, I thought maybe I just shed a little bit of light on a positive aspect of the trans community. With this article here, being that the first school for trans people in Bangladesh finally opens. That's great news. For centuries, transgenders in the subcontinent have faced ostracization, but the school hopes to change that, at least for some. The article goes on to say, in a move to integrate the transgender community, Bangladesh has opened its first school dedicated solely to trans people in the capital city of Dhaka. That's huge! In the capital city of Dhaka. That's huge! Um, where they will teach Islamic values and vocational subjects, such as uh, history, cooking, the essentials, blah 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 blah, stuff that we get here in the United States education system. The school is a privately funded madrasa or seminary, and has been made free of charge for a community that has so far lived cut off from society, only earning their livelihood through dancing and special functions. It's a shame, really, but they're at least making a living. Officials at the now, I've had experience with Arab people and how they pronounce this, but I'm still gonna butcher this somewhat. At the Dawatul Islam Tritio Linger Madrasa. I think I butchered that just a little bit, but correct me if I'm wrong. Um, or Islamic Third Gender School said the institution will not give an age limit so that anyone can enroll and study. The madrasa's education and training secretary, Muhammad Abdul Aziz Husani, Saini, told the BBC Bengali service, whether or not someone is of the third sex is identified at a fairly mature age, that's why we don't set an age limit. Fair enough, an education for all. Perfectly fine. Um, Article goes on to say anyone can be admitted here as soon as a transgender person is identified, no matter what age they are. The country recently identified trans people as a third gender through a new amendment in 2018. 2018. 2018. That's some fast progression. I mean, granted, yeah, based on their history, you'll understand why. But I'll go continue on to the article. The country, according to government data, the country has a population of about 10,000 trans people. Although other estimates say it could actually stand over 50,000 people. I've come across a couple of other articles that say that it's close to more like 100,000 people. So it varies, really. Let's see, 1,000 people. However, the community locally called the Hydra, okay, not Hydra or Hydra like you would see in the Japanese culture. It's called Hydra. Has faced ostracization for centuries. The traditional work of the community in the subcontinent has been to dance and sing at weddings, birthdays, and auspicious occasions. Many also resort to begging and lewdness for pays. A new student at the school, Sheepley, not Shipley, not like the donut, is her name is Sheepy, Shilipi, said most of the trans community were illiterate and did not have work opportunities. Shameful. Like here in the US. Nothing surprising there. No one wants to hire us. If we had some education, we could have worked somewhere better. There is no education system. That is why we still do what our ancestors did, and earn money by dancing and singing. Respectable occupations, singing and dancing. I can get behind that. Talking about the bullying, she said, when I realized I was a transgender person, then everyone at the school hated me, was afraid, criticized me. That's why I didn't study anymore. If there was a separate reading system for us, no one would tease. Commendable. Sheila B added, we also want to be like other people, walk with dignity, and we also want to stand on our own 2 feet. If I get a chance, I will go that way. Now, who is? Hold on, let me get this. It doesn't show his picture. I tried to find a picture earlier, but it doesn't show a picture of her. So she'll be sounds like a very very young person, very very young, probably close to the age of 10 or 12 years old. Um, and or I'm sorry, she'll be. She is of a very progressive mindset, very powerful mindset. In case you haven't noticed, the Muslim people who study the Quran are very very spiritual. Um, Unlike the Christians, they're more a little bit more radical in understanding, of course. Um, and that was based on their culture. But if you ever understand the culture of the people in the Middle East, they had a caste system. They had a whole bunch of things in their government that were questionable, that didn't really quite follow the teachings in the Quran. So they abolished the caste system, and now because they're super spiritualistic and very understanding people, and they hate to defy their God, bar none, even the word of God. I do believe it's Buddha. I could be mistaken for this situation. Um, so I've known and have been friends with Arab people. They are the most peaceful people in the entire world. They have a strange sense of humor, that's for sure. But besides that, they're very humbling, they're very honest, they're very understanding, and not many people really took the time to actually get to know this part of the trans community in the Arab region. I mean, we've had people in European backgrounds, we've had people in the Asian backgrounds. I mean, come on, the Asian people are very, very open minded to the LGBTQ community. Very open minded. Um, we've had people in the African community, which they have it bad, but compared to everybody in those cultures, I don't think none of them had it worse than the Arab community because of how the government was receiving the Bible and using the Quran. And from my understanding, perspective, they kind of put religion in politics. And that was a big mistake. Politics should never be integrated into religion or vice versa. Especially for peaceful people like this. I mean, come on. I've I've had a manager um, for 7 years, and he was like the most humbling and most sweetest man in the entire world. I work with Arab people in the in my line of work, and it's shocking to me that there are like very conservative minded people when the Quran kind of tells them that that's just a stupid idea. Okay, that's just dumb. I'm just paraphrasing here. Um, but this is great. This is the sweetest thing in the entire world. That the most peaceful people are progressing at an alarming rate, no doubt. I mean, after, you know, years and centuries of oppression and ostracization, um, they're progressing very quickly. And knowledge of these people is getting more out there. And as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I'm aware of, they are very accepting. They are very accepting of this situation. More accepting, probably, than that of, from what I understand, and from what I've read, considerably more understanding than the US. Considerably. But they're kind of like up there with the Japanese people. Bar none. They're kind of up there, and I don't know, kind of hard to, you know, categorize who's like the most open minded between these two cultures. But they're very progressive. As far as the progression is concerned, the US, bar none, fails. Okay? They just fail. Um, the Japanese have been kind of like the most accepting for the longest time, but have progressed gradually over time. With these guys, I mean, they're full steam. They're like a freaking bullet train. They're just going zoom, zoom. And much respect to these people. I wish we could learn from these people. Seriously, we need to learn from these people. Yes, I know the Muslim community is getting a lot of flack because history, but that's just the degenerate part. What about the actual part that doesn't really get paid attention to much? That's the part I'm looking at. And, you know, this is great. This is terrific news. And congratulations, Bangladesh. Um, Congratulations to the LGBT, the trans community over there for just being you and having the faith and belief that you could just take the world by storm and help take the world by storm. Now, I know I'm sounding like a bit of an SJW, but honestly, I mean, I don't really know how to express how I feel about this. Um, I'm expressing total joy, of course. Um, I'm also expressing you know, love and acceptance for these people. Because they really didn't deserve to be treated like this, honestly, for the longest time. Um, I've heard of the mistreatment of uh, the Anglo Saxon race, of transgender people. I've heard of the horror stories of the Negro community, how they're being treated in the trans community. But I don't think anybody has had it worse than the Muslim community and the Arab community. And we should all, in all honesty, learn from their example. Just bar none, learn from their example. Because they're wonderful people. They are wonderful. They're very spiritual. They are very humbling. They're very sweet people. Okay? I'm glad to know members of the Arab and Muslim community. I'm glad to know them. And because of that, I think we should all learn from them. Bar none. And to all my girls and guys out there, especially my girls, um, welcome. I guess I don't know how discomforting that is or cringy that is, but we all love you. I commend you for your efforts. You're the sweet people, probably sweeter than me, and probably can not be so cringy as I am, because this is total cringe. Uh, but and I'm not trying to be insulting at all. Period. I'm trying not to be insulting, but this is the way I'm expressing it. Um, so kudos to you, kudos to them. Um, I hope going forward that you progress further into your futures and just be an all around good people to everybody that you have been taught in your culture. Um, so, with that being said, what do you think about all this? What do you think about the Arab community, even though we never really heard of them? What do you think about the trans community in the Arab country? As far as like finally getting their education, as far as acknowledging their culture, as far as everything, really, but more or less the trans community. What do you think about all this? Just let me know in this comment section. Um, and with that being said, requiescat in pace, my lovelies. Let the darkness take control.